Yeah, good afternoon everyone, and welcome back to my channel, Jeremy Allen Carp Angler. Now you join me today, and as people who will recognise the swim will see, back at the big pit. And yeah, it's just it's beginning of November now, and I think it's like 5th or 6th of November, something like that. And yeah, I've come back over here for a session, and I'm in the clubhouse swim, for people that recognise it or don't. And yeah, I got here about 10 o'clock this morning, had a walk round from the car park. There was one van in the car park, come round, and there was no one in this swim, so I sort of put a bucket down, wandered up, and there was a chap fishing in Winters who'd only had a couple of bream through the night, and had a chat with him, and he said someone was in here obviously last night, and also somebody was down in the other favourite swim I like, Gravelies, and he'd had a couple, which sort of like thought to myself, oh god, do I, you know, I've got a big barrow push ahead of me, go down and fish that. So anyway, I walked down all the way down the end, stood in pipes, stood in Gravely, stood in twins, didn't see anything. In two minds what to do, so I came back down to here. Then luckily, as I looked out of here, just opposite there, if you sort of see the three swim fronts opposite, in front of X-Files, I could see some fizzing, and then not long after that I see a fin come up, so that kind of made me mind up for me. And yeah, so I come back round here, and as I was setting up, I thought I'll get a rod out there quickly, because I see the fizzing was still showing, I could still see a fish out there. So I put a bag on and chucked my left hand rod at it, but unfortunately as you can see the wind blowing across here, we've got like a bit of a northeasterly wind, and it took it farther left than I wanted, so that resulted in me doing the middle rod up, and I chucked that, and I got that bang on. I've got a aim, I don't know if you see that, it was obviously a pike striking the fry just in front of me rod tips then. But so I yeah, got my middle rod out, and that went bang on where I wanted it. And then the right hand rod I put out sort of between Badlands and Gull Island. Again, I found a bit of gravel out there, about 17 wraps, so they're all at 16, 17 wraps, that sort of range. I'm not mega range. And I thought, right, I'm just going to chuck bags out every couple of hours. I'll reel in and reel in and redo them. So I got the thought, right, I'll come and get the old shelter up, and got that all set up. And yeah, the eagle-eyed amongst you will spot I've got a wet sling and a wet mat there, and you'll be thinking, what's going on? Well, the good news is I've already had one. So I sort of sat down here, got the kettle on, and got a cup of tea going. I was just out drinking, had about 2 sips out of the tea, and the right hand rod melted off, and I had a mega scrap. Well, I'll put up now the video of the fish, and I'll come back and talk to you in a minute. Yeah, hi everyone, and well, that didn't take long. I think the rod's been out hour and a half, just coming up to, yeah, I put them out about 11:30. This is coming up to 1 o'clock, and yeah, we've got ourselves a lovely big fat mirror. Let me just see if I can pick him up for you. There we go. How's that? He's a peach, isn't he? Hey, now I've initially weighed him, and he's gone 31.10. So I'm just going to see if I can show you the other side, and we'll then we will obviously reweigh him and check everything, double check and triple check it. He's a feisty one, this one, a mental fight. I couldn't game any line on him at first. I'll tell you about that in a minute, but yeah, there's the other side of him for you. Right, oh, so I'll just get him treed up. He's got a little damage by his tail, and I'll get him slipped back and I'll come and have a chat to you. Speak to you in a bit. So yeah, as you'll see from the video, I had that cracking mirror to start with. So what happened, as I say, I was just sitting there sipping my first cup of tea, and the right hand rod went into absolute meltdown. And I mean, I'm not fishing slack clutches by any means. They're done up quite tight, and it went off like it wasn't done up at all. By the time I got to the rod, he'd probably gone about sort of 15 yards on me, and I picked the rod up, and yeah, I couldn't do nothing with it to start with. He kept on taking line, and then I gradually did the clutch up and kept on doing it up as tight as I can, and then holding the rod tip down low, parallel, and sort of pumping it towards me, I started getting back. And then, but every time I got him to about where he picked up the bait from, he tore off again, and he did sort of 3, including the initial run, 3 mega runs where he took line off me. And then the sort of 4th time I pumped him back, if you like, he kept coming, and then he sort of went down to the right here, and I was like, oh no, he's going to go in the weed over there, because it's, I say, I had a couple of chucks over there when I was setting up to see if I could put a rod down over there, and I believe there's a sort of gravel patch down there that people fish on, but I couldn't find it. Anyway, so luckily I couldn't, because I then put that one out towards the little island of Gull Island, as they call it, and that's the rod that's gone. But yeah, I got him in close, and then he come in, and sort of second time he popped up, he went in the net, and I sort of thought, wow, he's a cracking fish. So yeah, so it's been a mega start to the session. As I say, I got the rods at about 11:30. I think the actual bite was about 1 o'clock, and you know, I'm now talking to you, it's about 3ish, so it's taken that long to get everything settled down and back to normal for me to talk to everybody. But yeah, so yeah, it's been a good start to the session. I'm going to redo my rods in a minute, and just keep every 2 to 3 hours, just put bags out. I'm not going to put any bait out there at the moment. I might spot some out when it gets dark, but while I've got some energy, I'm just going to keep throwing bags at them. That's what seemed to work very well in the last session I did here. Once I put bait out, I think that, it all went quiet, and then the next morning I put more bait out, and the dreaded swans sort of found where I was putting bait, and kept swimming through and picking me. Well, they weren't picking the baits up, but they were picking the lines up. So they were going along the bar close to where I was fishing, so they're a bit of a pain. Yeah, the eagle-eyed amongst you will also notice I haven't got my furry friend with me today. He's resting at home. He's not really in the wars this time. He always eats grass in the morning, and then 10 minutes after he's ate some, he then sicks it up, and he seems to be fine for the rest of the day. But I think he's eaten a bit too much yesterday, and yesterday, whenever he sort of went to the loo, he was struggling to get it out. So and there was grass coming out with it, so I think he's got his system a little bit bunged up. But yeah, he got my wife up in the night, and this morning, I say he went for a walk fine with me this morning, ran and actually did his business, and he was all right this morning. But he then come and watch me load the car up, as he does, And then when I went to sort of say goodbye to him, I think he thought I was going to get him, he sort of ran off. So he obviously wasn't feeling it today, so I've left him to convalesce, if you like, in my wife's office. He was sleeping when I left, so he's having a bit of a rest today. Right, that's what I'm doing. It's been a fantastic start to the session, and hopefully I shall speak to you later with some more action. Yeah, good morning everyone. It's now just coming up to 7:30, and yeah, sort of a little report for what went on the night. I would say, I normally would go, yeah, it was a quiet night last night. Well, it was a quiet night on the fishing front, but the fireworks last night were absolutely unbelievable. I think during the evening, as I expected, there was a display going on down to my right. I mean, you've got the clubhouse along to my, you can't see it on here, but just behind those trees there's the clubhouse for the golf course. They weren't having a firework display, but just over the other side of the lake, you can see those 3 swims I'm kind of looking at. Behind there's a park, and then the other side there's a car park. Well, some people turned up in there last night, probably about 9:30, and proceeded to let off the noisiest fireworks I've heard for a while. I mean, they were coming up across the lake here and breaking, you know, midway across the lake in enormous bangs. I mean, I was lying in my bed hoping to get a bit of kip in case I had lots of action through the night, and yeah, they kept me awake, and it was probably, you know, they went on for about an hour last night, and then probably for about 10:30 onwards. I actually, well, I went to sleep about 10:30. I remember looking at my watch, and then I woke up at 20 to 1, and I couldn't get back to sleep. I was awake for about an hour after that. So I threw some boilies out with the old throwing stick then. For about 20 out then with a throwing stick on top of the 40 or so I threw out when it got dark last night. I must have thrown them out about 7 o'clock. And yeah, I had a couple of bleeps through the night on the left-hand rod, bleeped a couple of times. And that was it, basically. I've been asleep all night, and right through till waking up here about 6:30 this morning. And then as soon as it was light, I've reeled all 3 rods in and put fresh bags on them and re-chucked them out. So it's now, well, I think it's just coming up to about 10 to 8 now or something, and I'm going to leave them out there and I'm going to probably redo them about 10, I think, and you know, that'll be the final chuck unless anything happens, and then I'll probably start packing up about 11, half 11, something like that. But yeah, it's been as I say, it's a quiet night, which is not unusual for here. I tend to get a lot of the bites tend to be sort of afternoon, evening, and then early morning. Well, I say early until late morning, up to about 11 o'clock sometimes. I'm hoping I'm going to get another fish before I go. And yeah, I'm sort of watching the water out there. As I say, I've had a couple of things come up out there, and I'm not sure whether they're fish or not. It's difficult to tell because there's a ripple on the water, so I'm sort of eagle-eyed looking out there while I have a cup of tea and then have some breakfast, and hopefully, you know, they'll be back in the area this morning and have a feed up, and I'll nab one before we go. So yeah, that's where we are, and hopefully I'll speak to you a bit later on with a fish. If not, it'll be a goodbye update sort of thing, but hopefully I'll speak to you before then. Bye bye. Yeah, hi everyone. It's just going up to 12 o'clock, and yeah, it's not been a lot happening during the sort of course of the morning. As I say, I see one show over by the island round to my left there at about 7:15, something like that, 7:20 this morning, and That's the only one fish I've seen jump out. There's been a lot of bubbling and that down to my right here, and a little bit of something breaking the surface, but nothing to convince me there was a carp down there. I think it was just either bream or tench, or even just fry being chased by pike down there. I kept looking, hoping I was going to see a carp roll or stick its tail out or something, or dorsal, and I was going to chuck a bag down there, although it's very weedy down there and difficult to get a drop. It was going to be a sort of double bagged PVA bag, and you know, chuck one in the general direction of a show if I see one, but I haven't seen anything. So all that's happened this morning, about 9:30, the left hand rod bobbin pulled up to the top, lifted into something which felt like a bream, to be honest. Was on for about 2 seconds and then pinged off, so I think I just sort of managed to hook a bream, and he sort of managed to tear off and pull the bobbin up, but definitely wasn't taking any line, so I'm not convinced it was a carp by any stretch. And so I re-chucked that rod out about 9:30, and I was going to redo them both at 11, but as I say, I see this bubbling down to my right, and been keeping an eye on that all morning. I've pulled in the middle rod, and then I've put a single on that, and I've just launched that as far as I can get it, thinking maybe there's fish a bit farther out, but that's got a bright single on it. That's not produced anything. And then, as I say, my right hand rod over by Gull Island, towards Gull Island, where I had the fish from yesterday, that's not produced anything. So I'm just sort of, you know, come to the end really. I'm sort of thinking it's now 12 o'clock, so I'm going to start packing up. And unless I see anything show at, you know, well, it'll probably take me 2 hours to pack up, so I've still got time for a bite, and hopefully I'll, you know, get some action whilst packing up, but I'm not expecting so. But you know, I'll be here still with rods out till the time I had the fish yesterday, which was 1 o'clock. So it's going to take me an hour and a half to pack up, and hopefully I'll come back to you with a fish. If I don't, that's be the end of this session. I'm not sure if I'll do another one on here during November, so it might be the end of this video. It'll be a short one, but having said that, it's been a great, you know, I caught one fish and it's been a banger. So, you know, 31.10 mirror, you know, I took that all day long. At the start of the session, I was just hoping I was going to get something else to back it up, but not to be. Well happy with that fish. He's a lovely looking fish. I think it's the biggest one I've caught from here this year, and yeah, I think the second biggest fish I've caught all year. So well happy with that. But so yeah, if that's the end of the video, thanks very much for watching. If you like the videos, please give us a like, and more importantly, hit that subscribe button. It doesn't cost you anything. You can subscribe and just ignore me afterwards if you want to, but it all helps me no end. And till the next one, it's goodbye from me.